News tonight, a new effort in the defense of a man accused in the 4 murders last summer up in Laurel, Nebraska.
Attorneys for Jason Jones are trying to take the death penalty off the table. The argument is about the timeline, with prosecutors alleging the 4th murder took place 9 minutes after the first 3 and at a different location.
The question before the judge is that difference in time and location enough to constitute 2 separate criminal acts and not one continuous act. If they're separating acts, it could eliminate the death penalty as a possible sentence.
The judge's ruling is expected on March 17th. Jason's wife, Carrie Jones, is also charged with murder, but only Jason is facing the death penalty.
Also